Crowdfunding to empower locals in banking opportunities explained. Landowners protest against logging in conservation area. And students begin events to mark World Environment Day.
This is National EMTV News with Dennis Orere.
Hello and welcome. This is Tuesday's news. Two clans in the north coast area of Madang have written letters of protest to the government asking how a Malaysian company has come to encroach on land designated as a conservation area. The Matev and Dibaran clans has been working with support from various donors, including US aid, to conserve a large area of rainforest. In the last 10 days, they reported that a Malaysian logging company has cut down up to 100 trees.
People from the Matev and Dibaran clans along the north coast of Madang wrote to the logging company Woodluck Pacific telling them that they will not accept any more encroachment on their lands. The two clans have threatened legal action and delays to the company's operations if they continue to log in restricted areas.
This plan is first time. All been start making this plot since 2018. Me plaka tu plapas mi plaratim where notice letter mi plaratim objection lo me plata sololi no onerim. Discussion or negotiations.
Since 2003, the clans have been working with Madang-based non-government organizations to conserve several hectares of forests, and they've been working to create a conservation area. It's a lengthy process that draws on the consent of families who depend on the land and the forests on it. The clans have been supported by other non-government organizations from Port Moresby and US aid. But in the last 10 days, the logging company brought in by neighboring clans have cut down up to 100 trees, prompting the protests.
One time to son we been talk lo provincial government, time we been working protest long one plab lo conservation area blo mi been go inside.
Scott White, National EMTV News.
Over 300 students turned up this morning at Port Moresby Nature Park to witness the launch of the park's Environment and Me school excursion program. As part of the 2021 World Environment Day campaign in NCD, the school excursion program is the first event to start off a week-long series of events highlighting various efforts in support of this year's theme, Ecosystem Restoration.
More than 300 students from participating schools within the nation's capital witnessed the launching of Port Moresby Nature Park's Environment and Me school excursion program.
This year, 2021. Now,
thank you. NCD Governor Powis Pakop encouraged the students to do something positive to make the environment better for their generation.
this is our ongoing program that Nature Park has designed and has been running for a while to get our schools, our children to be educated on the environment so that they can understand the significance and importance of protecting our natural environment. And so the children today, part of this program, we must get them to become part of the generation restoration.
While PNG's focus is on addressing climate change through awareness on reduction of fuel emissions and usage of renewable energy, the park recognizes that the effects of climate change will in time affect PNG's wildlife as well. Nature Park's General Manager David Thompson said environment issues form the core of the Nature Park's mission.
All I ask children is that you walk away and learn one thing. Take one thing from one you taught from either your teachers at home during this week or the teachers that we have here that work for us. It is so important to reuse, recycle, refurbish some of the products in the world at the moment.
As part of the 2021 World Environment Day campaign in NCD, the school excursion program is the first event to start off a week-long series of events highlighting various efforts in support of this year's theme, Ecosystems Restoration. World Environment Day will be commemorated on the 5th of June. Lilian Sopera-Kenea, National EMTV News.
Port Moresby today joined an international campaign in a call for action to plant more trees. NCD Governor Powes Pakop signed the agreement today. Cities for Forests is an organization made up of 65 cities around the world, in which Port Moresby is one of them. This organization has made a commitment to put in place regulatory mechanisms and policies that are environmentally friendly and will help countries and the entire global community take action on climate change.
We've talked a lot at a global level. A lot of countries have signed the Paris Agreement, but not many and not enough are doing action. PNG, we have signed the Paris Agreement, but we have not done much to reverse the deforestation, especially that is happening in our country. We're cutting a lot of logs, but we are not replanting them. In our traditional way, we are doing all this cleaning and planting to grow vegetables, but we equally need to plant trees. And here in Port Moresby, it's mainly savanna land, but my goal or one of our vision is to convert this city into a rainforest city, because we are capital of a rainforest nation. So we have to show it for real.
After copying some criticism from Bank of PNG Governor Loy Bakani and others in the banking and financial sectors regarding the crowdfunding initiative, PNG think tank group CEO Samson Komati has explained the motive behind it. Speaking to MTV News today, Mr. Komati said the project initiative is to provide better opportunities for local SMEs and individuals to invest in the country's banking and financial services sector. He says Papua New Guineans must take ownership of PNG's banking sector, thus taking back PNG's economy under the Marape government's aim of taking back PNG. The crowdfunding initiative was sparked a few months ago by Kina Bank's intention to acquire Westpac Bank, with PNG think tank group combining with other professional groups, business organizations and some SMEs pushing to stop the sale from going ahead. In a bid to enable Papua New Guineans to invest in or have ownership of the banking and financial services sector, Mr. Komati says the initiative is to take back PNG's banking sector, as the big banks have dominated the sector for many years with high interest rates and poor customer service.
So the banks control the economy here. So once Marape is saying, let's take back Papua New Guinea, we have to take bank. We have to take back the banking sector and make it friendly to our smaller people, the 85% of our population, the unbankable and the SMEs. So that has now motivated us to go to the step of crowdfunding movement. Crowdfunding has never been implemented in this country before. This is the first time we're using, where we are basically calling on all SMEs, from micro SME, table mama, all the way to any organization that turns over 5 million. In that bracket, we are asking you guys, pledge only 10,000 minimum. You can pledge from 10,000 up to 1 million.
The initiative has been inviting interested parties in terms of individuals and SMEs around the country to pledge up to 10,000 kina each, not in cash, to establish some foundation funding to be able to either invest in the major commercial banks, purchase and operate a commercial bank, or operate a microfinance company via obtaining a banking license. According to Mr. Komati, up to 9 million kina has been pledged at this stage, with the aim of raising 20 million kina by the end of this month as a startup, but with a long-term goal of raising up to 1 billion kina. Bank of PNG Governor Loy Bakani recently slammed the initiative, saying it is a scam. Mr. Komati responded to this, saying it is unbecoming of the banking sector regulator in that he was ill-informed. He says the initiative is not a scam and will help Papua New Guineans.
So no funds has been received yet. Our group is driven by intellectuals of this country. It's not people gathering on the streets in Apex Park or Jack Piddick Park collecting money. See, the central bank governor has prematurely come out, not finding out the truth of our movement, never had a meeting with us, never got information from us. He's being pressured by other external forces to label our group as a scam, which is very uncalled for and premature, and he has exposed himself because he's the most powerful man in the finance and banking industry in the country and a regulator. For a regulator to not do his homework and come out hard like this, it reveals his position very clearly to us. It's premature.
So in the midst of criticism in trying to enforce change or reform, the PNG think tank group maintains that it is being done in a transparent manner in which it will be audited and managed by an independent accounting firm. On Kina Bank's recent explanations of the acquisition of Westpac Bank not aimed at lessening competition in PNG's banking sector, Mr. Komati says it still remains a duopoly in terms of ownership.
They are trying to operate two banks owned by one owner. Two banks, two commercial licenses, but owned by one owner. Two different management structure, two different boards, but the owner is still the same. So you don't have multiple commercial banks. You still have one. Both Kina and Westpac are the same owner. So they are combined, they will challenge BSP. So you have two big players. So this is still duopoly. You can't escape by giving this lame excuse. This is lame. We get it. This is lame. So I want to let Greg Porson and the big players in the commercial banks know that the people of Papua New Guinea, we are fed up with long bank queues. We are fed up with all the excessive bank fees.
Among stories after the break, one student's passion and emotions turned to art, and landowners prepare to meet a delegation of government and barrack representatives in Porgera. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Abstract art is a style that uses various shapes, lines, forms and colors, but while it is not too common in Papua New Guinea, a young painter in Lae has found this a great way to express her emotions. Kalimera Kapiri started painting in 2019 without any knowledge about the subject. Her passion has driven her to paint up to 100 pieces, more than 50 of which have been sold. She now continues to paint, testing ways to better her art while working a full-time job.
My paintings captures my emotions, so all my emotions are captured in my canvases, my pieces.
25-year-old Kalimera Kapiri is an abstract artist who has been painting for 2 years. She did not know she had a creative ability until she picked up a paintbrush in September 2019.
I don't really touch any paintbrush or anything until September 2019. I did my first painting and then it just happened. And I didn't know that abstract art was a thing because I wasn't even interested in art too. And then I was painting and then someone told me that, oh, that's abstract. And then I was like, what's abstract? And that's how I realized that, oh, my painting's abstract.
Originally from Yalibu in the Southern Highlands province, Kalimera was born and raised in Lae. After graduating from the University of Papua New Guinea in 2019, she returned home and worked with the family business. As an environmental science graduate, some of her paintings depict the environment and climate change, like this painting.
You can see that these are missing pieces, I'll say. So the parts that I cut it out can represent like there's a lot of logging going on and, deforestation as well. So the habitat is being destroyed and all, so I try to put that into this 2-piece painting.
One of her favorite paintings at the moment is this one of the late Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. This was her first ever portrait, splashed with colors that each told a story.
I was very emotional while painting his piece. I'm pleased to see the end result. So yeah, that will be the one that...
With up to 100 paintings done, she's been selling her pieces and continues to learn how to better herself as an artist while working a full-time job. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
A group of women in rural Vanimo Green District have built a community learning and development center for their village. Through fundraising, the women of Mukwai's village of the Wiamsa LLG were able to purchase building materials and construct a semi-permanent house that will be used to teach women and girls important life skills. During the opening, District Community Development Officer Elijah Killis acknowledged the initiative of the women and said such initiatives must be embraced by all stakeholders, including NGOs and the government. Killis added that community development is an important sector that faces countless challenges, and working in partnership is a way forward for any development for initiatives. The series of life skills training, including sewing, businesses and SME management, cooking and hygiene, will be taught in this new center. The Southern Highlands Provincial Education Division is on a mission to improve the education standards in the province. This comes after many parents and stakeholders criticized the low academic performance of students in the grade 10 and 12 national examinations. The team is headed by the new advisor, Ms. Anna Emak, and they are aware that teacher absenteeism is a contributing factor.
The high-end secondary schools in Southern Highlands province are performing poorly in the grades 10 and 12 national exams, which has resulted in fewer students securing spaces at the tertiary level. There are many contributing factors to the drop in the academic performances. Teachers' absenteeism in class is one major factor. This may be due to no road access to the school, unavailability of classrooms and school facilities such as libraries, computer labs, teachers' house, and chasing up on their salaries from remote locations.
Election-related problems, burning down of planes and all this type of thing. And then we had the 7.3 earthquake that has contributed towards that. And COVID-19 and lack of material support.
Lack of school inspections is also a major failure this new management is addressing. In the last 3 months, school inspectors started visiting schools on a fact-finding mission. This was to establish the total number of registered schools from childhood learning up to 4. They will also establish the available infrastructure and the curriculum used. They still do not know if schools in Southern Highlands are still using the outcome-based curriculum or standard-based curriculum. So far, 780 teachers were put off payroll to reaffix the pay system.
We don't want them to bombard us every day in the office and come to the office all the time, about the salary matters. Well, we are here to do that. We don't want the teachers to be flying down to Mosby to be, attending to the salary matters.
Measures were put in place to motivate teachers to give their best in class and give confidence to parents and stakeholders. These are incentives to grade 10 and 12 teachers, prioritize building school infrastructure, do regular school visits by the Provincial Education Division, involve themselves in water and sanitation programs, and assess remuneration from teachers according to their performances. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
The Kokopo and Rabaul districts in East New Britain have established their district procurement committees with a swearing-in recently. Member for Kokopo, Emil Tamur, says this is a milestone achievement for the district to have such powers given and to expedite projects for service delivery. NPC Chief Executive Officer Mr. Simon Bolle, who witnessed the swearing-in, urged the committee members to carry out their duties in compliance with the National Procurement Act. Bolle said the remaining 28 districts and 8 provinces have until 30th of June to establish their respective procurement committees. The National Procurement Act was developed to promote transparency, accountability, good governance and value for money in public procurement. A memorandum of understanding has paved the way for the second edition of the implementation of the COFI curriculum. Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra and senior officers of the Coffee Industry Corporation signed the instruments late yesterday in Port Moresby. Secretary Kombra says this is a step forward to enhance basic learning for students in the country, especially for the coffee industry.
A significant occasion for the education and agriculture sector. Coffee will now be introduced to the education curriculum. For the Education Department, this partnership will expand the coffee sector and bring students more closely to PNG's coffee know-how.
It can be applied. I see it can be applied. The principles of business, of financial management, knowing your business and other different values and skills that are involved in the curriculum itself, in the coffee curriculum, can be applied to the other cash crops as well. So it does not really just in our teaching and learning. Even we can focus in the coffee growing provinces, I can see that it's got a value right across our country.
This is the second edition of the coffee curriculum. The first was launched in 2009 in Goroka. The coffee curriculum is now part of the standard-based education for the lower and upper primary. And there are more plans to expand in the education sector.
The coffee curriculum covers as much as time, space, and resources allowed. It covers the value of chain of coffee and it's packaged under the guidance of the Education Department.
For CIC, the coffee curriculum is vital to grow the industry. The signed Memorandum of Understanding paves way to improve coffee education, its awareness and the potential coffee industry can play in the country's economy.
Once we have not addressed our young population who are in the education system, and that's where we thought the future of coffee industry in Papua New Guinea rests with our young generation. And the best place to pass on the coffee knowledge is through the education system, which Department of Education is its key role, its priority to do that.
Jagla Pava Jr., National EMTV News.
Porgera mine landowners and other stakeholders in the valley are looking forward to welcoming the State and Barrick New Guinea Limited to Porgera this Thursday. Landowner groups in the valley have also carried out awareness on the recently signed framework agreement that will pave way for the reopening of the mine. Spokesman Ray Pundi says the agreement is a win-win situation for all parties and the people of Porgera are ready to receive the delegation.
We embrace their visit and the messages they will pass on to us. The people on the ground, the local people of Porgera landowners, they've made an awareness after the signing of framework agreement back in April, and the aspects that impacts that are mentioned in the framework that were shared within the beneficiaries of Porgera landowners. According to the milestone agreement, we know that the country, PNG state, owns 51% of the equity shares, whilst the investor, Barrick, owns 49%. And that was one of a kind agreement that's signed in this project. This has never happened before. This is the first of a kind. And they are the joint partners that will operate the mines, obviously by the end of the year. And with the landowners, we were fortunate to secure our shares in the 51% in the country equity shares. So we secured 10% already. That's for the majority of the SMA landowners, the LNPs and other easements. We, the people of Porgera, we welcome both Prime Minister James Marape and Barrick President Mark Bistro.
In news just in, the Moresby Northwest by-election set for tomorrow has been deferred to Friday. This is to give security personnel, including the police, ample time to get themselves ready to assist the polling officials. The one-day polling set for tomorrow has been deferred to Friday. And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina opened unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina will buy $0.2775 $0.3551 Australian dollars, $0.3785 New Zealand dollars and 29.86 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee closed higher, cocoa and copper closed lower. Palm oil closed lower, crude oil and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is also trading higher.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. 13 clubs have submitted their expressions of interest as of close of business last Friday in their bid to secure a spot in the 10-team Men's National Soccer League set for July 17 start. Not renewing their interest are 3 teams that took part in the National Soccer League last season who didn't submit their expressions of interest.
July 17 is the tentative kick-off date for the Men's National Soccer League competition. After close of business on Friday last week, 13 teams have handed in their expression of interest, with a few familiar names looking to make a comeback. Lay City Dwellers, Sepik FC and Tavur FC are making their return after several years in hibernation, while 2 PNG FA sanctioned teams, Southern Conference Juniors and Northern Conference Juniors, will make their debut. The 2 conference teams will comprise of mainly youth teams in line with PNG FA's vision on developing young footballers moving forward. The teams that have met the deadline include Strikers FC, Hekari United FC, Lay City FC, Tusbab FC, Star Mountain FC, Tavur FC, FC Morobe Wawens, Port Moresby City FC, Lay City Dwellers, Southern Conference Juniors, Northern Conference Juniors, Sepik FC and Gulf Komara FC. Unfortunately, one of the foundation clubs, Morobe United FC, will not be part of the semi-professional football competition this year. Last year's grand finalists Vitias United and FC Bougainville, who were 2 strong campaigners in the 2020 season, did not respond to their EOIs as well for this season. 13 clubs have submitted their expression of interest by returning their form and making the payment of the non-refundable fee of 10,000 kina. The annual affiliation fee remains at 80,000 kina and must be paid by July 12, 2021 before the tentative 2021 NSL season competition start date of July 17th. Fidelis Sukina, Trukai Sports.
The SP PNG Hunters 24-12 loss to the Redcliffe Dolphins last weekend sees the PNG side slip further down to 11th place on the Intrust Super Cup ladder. With the side struggling to find some consistency during matches, coach Matthew Church believes that the Hunters showed a better fighting spirit in their 12-point loss to the Dolphins. The Hunters will only overcome their rough patch in form by maintaining pressure and stamping out errors in their game.
The drop in form continues as the SP PNG Hunters fall their 4th consecutive loss against the Redcliffe Dolphins, going down to the Brisbane outfit 24 points to 12. The match against the Dolphins was always going to be a tough encounter, with the Brisbane outfit winning 10 of their last 11 home matches at the Morton Daly Stadium. Coach Matthew Church wanted his players to show consistency that had stamped the Hunters as top 4 contenders in the first month of the season. The Hunters have struggled in their previous matches with injuries and suspensions, leaving them with only 18 players to choose from. The match against the Dolphins saw the return of experienced players such as Enoch Maki and Edwin Ipape, but it wasn't enough for the PNG side, who allowed their opponents to race away to a 24 points to 4 lead at halftime. The Hunters were looking to keep things positive at halftime, with a chance for the side to show some consistency and finish strongly. The injury woes continued for the Hunters, with Apple Capanias aggravating an ankle problem that had disrupted the early part of his season, forcing the forward to leave the field with 3 minutes to play. The Hunters' poor kicking game and inconsistencies eventually caught up with them, losing the match to the Redcliffe Dolphins 24-12. Huxley Lovai, Trukai Sports.
That story wraps up True Kai Sports. The weather report after these messages. Stay tuned.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports. This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region: Port Moresby, mostly fine and windy; Daru, fine and windy; Kerama, cloudy with some overnight showers; Alotau, mostly fine although cloudy, and partly cloudy with patchy rain for Popondetta. To the Momase region, Lae, cloudy with patchy rain; Madang, cloudy with rain showers; Wewak and Vanimo, cloudy with squally showers. In the New Guinea Islands region, Buka, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorm; Kimbe, cloudy with brief showers; Kokopo and Rabaul, cloudy with brief showers; Kavieng, cloudy with showers and possible thunderstorm; Lorengau, cloudy with showers. In the Highlands region, all centers to have partly cloudy with patchy rain, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And before we go, a reminder again, the Moresby Northwest by-election set for tomorrow has been deferred to Friday. This is to give security personnel, including the police, ample time to get themselves ready to assist the polling officials. The one-day polling set for tomorrow has been deferred to Friday. And that's the news, sports and weather for Tuesday, the 1st of June 2021. Pleasant viewing. Be safe. Bye for now.